welcome back to the State Champs studio for another episode of Extra Innings. I'm your host, Elizabeth Kuhn, here with our baseball analyst, Mark Stroia. Finally, some beautiful weather for some baseball.
Yeah, early April, you never know what you're going to get. So the weather's starting to turn. The bats are heating up, pitchers' arms are loosening up. So we're looking forward to some good baseball starting up here and getting into mid-April.
Absolutely, and State Champs covered games all throughout the week. Let's start with the first one. Liggett took on Orchard Lake St. Mary's in the doubleheader. It would be all Eaglets in this one. They came through with the sweep, 8-5 and 10-0. Game one was back and forth throughout the entire thing. What did you see in that one?
Liggett, the number one team in Division II, jumped out to a early 3-0 lead in the top half of the first of game one. The Texas signee, Oliver Service, blasted a 2-run homer to left center to get things started. Then the Eaglets responded right back in the bottom of the inning with senior Jason Oliver, who was committed to Indiana next season, belted a grand slam home run to put the Orchard Lake Eaglets up 4-3. Liggett wasn't giving up. In the fifth, down 6-3, they would score a pair of runs to get the game down to 1 run. But the Eaglets came back like they frequently do in the bottom of the frame. Blake Grimmer, one of the top players in the state, signed with Tennessee, got an RBI, and they went on to take the game 8-5.
Yeah, and game two would be a completely different story. Orchard Lake St. Mary's taking it and running with it. What did you see in this one?
In game two, it would be all St. Mary's. Junior pitcher Aiden Donovan was on the hill. He's a MSU commit. Threw 7 strikeout innings in his 5 innings of work in game two. Orchard Lake got big hits from Grimmer and senior Ryan McKay, who was going to play for the Spartans next year. With a pair of wins this weekend, they extend their win streak to 73 games. Orchard Lake is traveling down to Ohio this weekend to see if they can set the record of 75 set back by Homer back in 2005.
Next, we head to game one of a doubleheader between Northville and Saline. The Mustangs took the first game 12-7 in this one.
Yeah, Northville's, who was number 2 in Division I heading into the season. Coach John Kristiva, who was in the Michigan Coaches Hall of Fame, is in his 18th season at Northville. The Stangs have a good quality team. They have a good group of seniors, along with a couple Division I underclassmen for this 2023 season. Joey Broughton is an underclassman committed to Pittsburgh, with Dante Nori committed to Mississippi State. Broughton had a 5 RBI afternoon against Saline, including a 2-run home run in the third, to put the Stangs up 7-3. Saline, who won the Division I state title in 2017, tried to keep it close, but Northville was just too much for him on this day.
And we head to the west side of the state for this matchup. Forest Hills Northern took on Grand Rapids Christian. It would be Christian coming through with a 9-1 victory in this one.
Grand Rapids Christian, who made it to the D2 state championship game in 2022, they fell to Forest Hills Eastern 3-0, but this year's Eagles are ready to make another run back to MSU. Grand Rapids Christian Junior Isaacs is committed to play at Western Michigan. Had himself a day with 5 RBIs to win their first game of the season.
Other games we covered earlier in the week was in the Huron League between Milan and Riverview, and the game between West Bloomfield and Rochester Adams. You can find those highlights on our social media channels. Just search State Champs Mish. We want to give a huge congratulations to Bay City Western's head coach Tim McDonald for getting his 800th career win.
800 wins is a huge accomplishment. I was actually on Coach McDonald's first state championship run in 2013. I was the home plate umpire for the semifinal game against Sterling Heights Stevenson, in which they won 2-1. Also, a stat that I think is truly amazing is in Coach McDonald's career, he's never had a losing season. And in high school baseball, that's unheard of, because you're going to have stretches where you just don't have the talent. And some way they get it done by just bringing in these kids as freshmen. It's a tribute to their entire staff. The lower level coaches get these kids ready to play, and then when they step into varsity roles, Coach McDonald just does his thing. But
we're going to step aside and send it to Lauren Plant for this week's In the Dugout.
You just did something really cool for former Coach Cullen. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so again, Coach Cullen passed away a couple of years ago, and we've done so many improvements at our field, and it's just been, part of our fundraising year after year, a bunch of different things. I appreciate it because it's been a lot of hard work. It's been a lot of time going into it. I spend more time there. Actually, the yard there looks better than the one I got at home.
Right.
Coach around can kind of tell you that if they're putting in the time. But so anyway, he was a coach from I think 79 through 80, and again he passed away. But he was also a value teacher within our school, and we wanted to do something for him. And for the last couple of years I couldn't figure out how we wanted to do it. And so as we added some new parts to kind of close off some of the spectators areas and everything else, we put a bench there and some flowers and stuff. We said, you know what, this is going to be a good spot to name after Coach Cullen. So we kind of put a little thing up that just says Cullen's Corner. Just a good way to kind of recognize him in all the years that he put there.
And you can check out that entire interview by going to our YouTube page. All you need to do is search State Champs Net. We have some important games coming up this week. Obviously, that Orchard Lake St. Mary's game looking to break the MHSAA streak of 75 wins. Mark, how remarkable is this win streak? And, there's been times where they could have lost.
Absolutely. 73 games in a row at the high school level. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, these guys are high school players. They're not professional athletes. So you take into consideration the weather, or different factors. The weather sometimes evens out the talent, and just to go 73 games straight victories is just remarkable. And people can say what they want about Orchard Lake as far as they recruit players, whatever. They're just high school kids. Other teams have good programs, and they're just high school kids. So to win 73 games is just a remarkable streak.
Absolutely. We'll be looking forward to that one. That's all we've got for this week, so make sure you guys check out another episode of Extra Innings next week. State Champs Extra Innings is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic. Visit ltu.edu. Extra Innings is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, a proud sponsor of the MHSAA. The Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association. For information on awards, clinics, rankings, and this year's All-Star Games, visit mhsbca.org. The Detroit Athletic Club Foundation Male and Female Athlete of the Year Awards. Who will be this year's award winners? Find out live June 5th, only on the State Champs Sports Network.